With the trade deadline approaching for the Chicago Bears, there's one player that Chicago Bears fans have literally been talking about since the offseason, and that is Chase Young. What is the realistic chances that the Chicago Bears could trade for Chase Young? We're going to talk about that, plus dive in the mailbag since it is Friday, all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host, Sarah Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every single social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the content for today. And so before we dive into the mailbag, I just got one topic, right? And that is with the trade deadline approaching, a player that suits a lot of what the Bears need on that defensive line is Chase Young. Now, reportedly, he is available by the Washington Commanders, and they are looking to potentially move on from either him or Montez Sweat, or maybe even both of them, not in the same deals, but depending on what they can get back for these players. Now, in the case of Chase Young, Bears fans have been talking about Chase Young. I think we did our first video in Chase Young at the start of the offseason. He is pending to become a free agent, and one of the biggest questions around Chase Young is the injury concerns, right? Now, with this season, he's really shaping up. It seems like those injury concerns are slowly going away. But like I've said before, when it comes to Chase Young, you got to see it for a couple of seasons, at least in my opinion, before you're willing to say that the injury concerns are all the way gone. But he's looking healthy this season. He's looking ready to go. He's performing extremely well on a very deep defensive line as well. And so that has led many Bears fans, and a lot of speculation around the Bears right now leading up to the trade deadline is that would the Bears be willing to trade and part with their assets for a player like Chase Young? Keep in mind, on the season so far, still a very young season. He's played in 6 games. He has 14 total tackles, 11 of those being solo, and 5 sacks. Now, I want to make it clear, Chase Young is not going to come in and immediately have that same impact on the way that the Bears' defensive line is right now, because we know we're struggling. While Javon Dexter, Zach Pickens are definitely trending up, we have problems getting to the quarterback. We have issues with the interior defensive line at times, and our edges suck. They've largely been a complete misnomer, right? And that's not to say that like DeMarcus Walker isn't a sucky player at all, but I think what we're seeing is that you need either a better scheme or just better overall talent on that defensive line to kind of get the most out of even what we have currently on that defensive line. And so Chase Young offers an interesting scenario that many Bears fans would love to have Chase Young on this team. And so, the thing that I bring it to and the thing that I want to present to you guys on this one is what should the Bears be willing to give up? Reportedly, the Washington Commanders want as high as a second-round pick and a future either third or fourth in a deal for Chase Young. Now, this is a draft coming up where there are absolutely starting level edges that you can get in the second round, right? So you have to ask yourself and be willing and to ask yourself about the risk versus reward. Yes, you know exactly what you're getting from Chase Young. You do have to pay him as well. He's going to be up for a contract extension. But would you rather wait until the offseason to do that, right? So I look at the junior defensive end JT from Ohio State that definitely could be there in the second round for the Chicago Bears around their pick, right? And it really comes down to what you're willing to give up. And so if the Commanders want a future second and a future third, that would mean that the Bears are giving up some of their assets that they can use. And the bigger question is that you're giving it up for a player that does have injury concerns. Yes, it looks like it's trending in the right way, but those injury concerns are still there. And then on top of that, right, is a player that you immediately have to pay. And so would the Bears more so want to take their chances at drafting another young edge, right, with their second round pick rather than give it up, and then turn around and, maybe try to take a shot at Chase Young in free agency if he does hit free agency? So that's kind of the questions that you're asking. Now, I'm absolutely saying the Bears should make the call, right? If Chase Young is on the chopping block where the Commanders are just looking to move him before the deadline, the Bears should absolutely make that call. But when it comes down to it, what the picks that the Bears have right now, you can get some great talent in that, right? So you got to think about that, right? So it really comes down to, like, do you go with the surefire thing that still has some doubts again on it? We know we need serious talent on that defensive line. Or is Ryan Poles confident that he can? Keep in mind, Bears have the second most cap space in the NFL next offseason, so they could be looking to do that. Now, listen, Chase Young has come back. To his credit, has come back. He's better. He's looking extremely solid since his injury, right? And it is what it is. So you got to see. I wouldn't be mad at either player if it is Montez Sweat or Chase Young. You may even be able to get Montez Sweat for a little bit less, right? So, we'll end up seeing. They will be free agents in this offseason, so I think that's what it comes down to. But I want to present the question to you guys is that would you be willing to give up a second in this upcoming draft and a future third for Chase Young right now, or would you be willing to be willing to wait and take a shot at it in free agency? Let me know what you guys think on all that down below. But with that said, it's Friday, so that means this episode is mainly built around your voicemails. We got 5 voicemails to get into today. This one's from K2.
Yo, what up? Bobby, hey, C-Dub, Kevin, Go. What's going on, y'all, man? It's your boy K2, man. I was just calling in because I got some interesting things that I feel could be a hot topic right now, man. And I mean, y'all can talk about it if y'all want, man. I just wanted to run this by y'all real quick, man, just to see what y'all think, right? Because something interesting, I just watched something interesting, man, on the Under Center podcast. I watch it every time after Bears game, just like I watch the Shy Bears platform, man, and there's always some good stuff being said, man. But Josh Schrock, who is a Bears insider, said something very interesting yesterday, man, and I just want to, and I wrote it down, man, because he said that Cole Kmet said that I think is very interesting, man, moving forward. And it could be the reason why our offensive line has been so dysfunctional lately, man, because to me it makes sense, and why I think moving forward with Tyson Bagent is more smarter with the O-line that we have and the game plan that we have, because it might just work better. But y'all tell me what y'all think. This is what Josh Schrock said. He said he asked Cole Kmet, why were you guys able to be so physical in the running game today? And here's what Cole Kmet had to say. He said the difference in the running schemes today was that it was more NFL-based, because they didn't have the quarterback runs. And guys are more comfortable with the traditional inside zones, traditional outside zones, traditional gaps and powers, instead of all the zone read stuff that they run with Justin. And for that reason, we were able to fire off on the ball and push guys around. Now, I don't know if y'all know what that means, but to me it's pretty clear cut that when Justin Fields is back there, man, they're not comfortable, because they got to do stuff that they're not used to doing. And when they're doing stuff that they're not used to doing, man, it's like, how can you be successful with that? At this point, I understand that it's not Lou Getsy. It's not the game plan. It's not the calling. It's the guy at the helm that they have to adjust for. And he ain't really making the proper adjustments to make sure that he's able to at least execute the game plan that they have for him, man. And when he ain't executing, everybody's already uncomfortable with what's being done. So if he ain't executing, how can they get better? I'm just saying, man, like that's just my opinion on it, man. I know it's an unpopular take, man, but I just wanted to know what you guys think about it, man. Chicago up, bear down.
Now, the thing I'm going to push back on UK2 on is that we were the number 1 rushing offense in the league last year with Justin. So to say that, the whole rigmarole that you just went through, and I understand that you are not a Justin Fields guy. I'm not even going to come at you for that. But to say that, oh, well, this is why, because they have to worry about Justin, like, to me, that sounds like the trying to make the reasons fit the narrative rather than the truth. The fact of the matter is this, is that the Bears were the number 1 rushing attack in the league with Justin Fields there. So because I've seen that, I can't give an offensive line credit to say, oh, we all of a sudden became better in the rushing game because Justin was out. I can't do that, right? So it seems like I get it. A lot of people don't like Justin, and I'm not saying that Tyson Bagent being in there, it does, help some things, because he's a more straightforward traditional quarterback. And that's not, again, I'm not getting into the Fields versus Bagent conversation, not yet. It's been 1 game. It's way too early to get into that. But I do think when you say that, it is what it is. And then to say that it's not play calling as you went into with that, I think that's very so missing the point. To say that it's not play calling is just, like I said, it's trying to make the facts fit the narrative rather than let the facts inform the narrative, or inform the truth, because that's to say it hasn't been play calling. I'm sorry, that's stupid. Not by you. I'm saying by anybody. Like, that's just silly. And it's absolutely been play calling from Luke Getsy, and he absolutely called the game a different type of play. So no, I'm sorry. I got to fight back on that one. You are right to have your opinion, right? I'm not saying to take that. I understand the angle that you're coming from. I just don't agree. And I think that is one of those things where we're looking for something to kind of give the reason of why, other than the fact that the Bears they were playing a weak defense on top of that, right? And they're going to be playing another one this upcoming week against the Chargers. While they rank pretty high on defensive run defense, but it's because they give up everything down the field in passing as well. So, I can't get with that narrative just because we've seen it done before with lesser offensive line. This offensive line is better than the offensive line we had last year, and that offensive line we were able to be the number one rushing attack in the league. So I can't give it any credit for that. That's just my personal opinion. You guys, as always, can let me know what you guys think down below. All right, let's get into this next one. This one's from Fred.
Hey, what's up, man? This your boy Fred, man. You know, I checked the game out. Yeah, they got the win. But at the end of the day, man, like, I feel like Luke Getsy is on some bullshit. Like, he's trying to sabotage Justin Fields because he got so used to having an Aaron Rodgers being in the pocket and can throw from the shotgun. But he got to understand, times has changed with dual threat quarterbacks. You play to a player's strength. The weakness, you work on that as well as a coach. And he has not done anything since he's been here with us. So I'm still looking forward to him getting fired. I'm not giving him no praise because after a while, he didn't involve DJ as much. Even though DJ had 8 catches for 50-some yards still. DJ should have had more than that. You know, he should have torched that secondary with DJ Moore. But he didn't do it. I mean, he got Brody involved, you know what I'm saying, of course. But they, you know what I'm saying, Tyson Bagent, he did all right. You know, he did okay. But at the end of the day, I still feel like Luke Getsy didn't play to the player's strength. And he did the same thing, a little similar with, you know what I'm saying, Tyson Bagent. The only thing with Bagent, it was like he gave him more little, you know, freedom to do whatever the hell he wanted to do. And, you know, Tyson knew the playbook, but I feel like Luke Getsy needs to get up off the team. I'm so tired of hearing people talking from, oh, the Bears draft Caleb Williams. We don't need Caleb Williams. I watched Caleb Williams play that game against Utah, and he lost that motherfucker. So Caleb Williams got all this hype. He's all right, but we don't need another quarterback. We need to build that goddamn O-line up and that D-line and get us another safety if we're going to trade Eddie Jackson or whatever, what's going to happen in the offseason. And I think we'll be solid. But they just need to go with a coach that's going to play to Justin Fields' strength. I don't see why Ryan Poles should give up on Justin Fields because it's supposed to be his year. He's supposed to have a breakout season. But you got coaches like Eberflus and Luke Getsy, bitch-made asses, holding this young man back. And then you get people telling him, oh, he's a bust. No, he ain't a bust. You got coaches that's holding him back, not playing to his strength. Any good coach would know, okay, if I got a dual threat quarterback, I'm going to play to his strength, and I'm going to coach him up on working on his weakness right along with it. That's part of coaches. Like, these motherfuckers got to go, bro. Like, ain't no ifs and buts about it. They got to go. And then our boy Justin Jones, he get a sack yesterday, but I'm like, dude, you still got to go. Like, you haven't done shit since you've been on this Bears team, man. But hopefully, man, Justin Fields come back this week, and he do the damn thing, and he just do his own thing, man. So let me know what you think, man. Chicago up, bear down or nothing.
Is Luke Getsy trying to sabotage Justin Fields? And while that is a great headline and I understand the standpoint, I'm going to take it from a more realistic standpoint. Luke Getsy didn't call the plays in Green Bay. He was a first-time play caller here in Chicago, and it showed, right? So even in saying like what he did in Green Bay and trying, like he didn't call the plays in Green Bay. So to me, it's like, I won't say that he's outright trying to sabotage Justin Fields. I do think that a quarterback like Tyson Bagent does fit more with his sensibilities, and that's fine as well. But at the end of the day, this is what the problem is with having a system that you don't build towards the skill set of the players that you have, and more so having a system that you need cookie cutter players to fit in, right? So Luke Getsy is absolutely, he needs to be on his way out. There's been nothing that I've seen from Luke Getsy, even in the wins, that tells me that he needs to say, and I could say the same thing to Matt Eberflus as well. We need a more creative play caller. That just is what it is. And even when we do have success, it's really, like I said, as long as we're playing with the lead, Luke Getsy gets free as far as the play calling. The moment we face some adversity, he tightens up, he tenses up, the play calling becomes straightforward, extremely predictable, and that is a big problem for a team in the NFL. So Luke Getsy, to me, has shown nothing but the fact that he does not deserve to be offensive coordinator, at least not right now, right? Still a fairly young head coach. I'm sure, after he leaves the Bears, he's going to go somewhere else, maybe become a QB coach or whatever it is, and then maybe, learn from his mistakes here, and maybe he can eventually go on to have a dynamic offense somewhere else, but I just don't see it happening in Chicago. Like I said before, I always try to leave the credit. I could absolutely be wrong in that and be proven wrong, but everything that I've seen and everything that points to is that Luke Getsy just ain't him. He's not the guy for this team, and especially if we bring in a player like Marvin Harrison Jr., whatever else it is, as we try to grow and, fit this system towards what we have as far as talent-wise, I don't want Luke Getsy being the one in charge of it, but hey, it doesn't matter what I say here in the studio. It matters what Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren think, and so we'll see what their mindset is as we get closer to the end of the season. But, I don't know if that Luke Getsy or Matt Eberflus can necessarily do enough, right? But hey, if we win this week, we're 3-5. We're not outside of the wild card at all because of how weak the NFC has been overall. So you just never know. Maybe they can do enough to turn it around. Maybe I'm just missing the point, which is completely possible as well. So let me know what you guys think on that one. All right, let's get into this next voicemail. This one's from Rory.
What up, hey, Bobby, C-Dub, Steve, Kev. Hey, man, this is Rory, man. Hey, coming at you again, you know. Hey, I got a question. So do you think the Bears are going to stick to the same game plan like they did with the Raiders? Because now they have film on Bagent now, you know what I'm saying? So now you have the edges, Joey Bosa, and you got Khalil Mack, you know what I'm saying? So that's a difference, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be putting pressure on you, you know what I'm saying? So are you going to still play the short game, like, in a close proximity, you know what I'm saying? Are you going to try to contain Bagent, you know what I'm saying? Because they know he's going to do a lot of short throws, a lot of checkdowns. So if I was Chicago, I would mix it up, you know what I'm saying? Surprise them and kind of do, some down the field passing, you know what I'm saying? Kind of air it out, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how we're going to do as far as, like, Khalil Mack and Bosa, you know what I'm saying, with the running game, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's the difference between them and the Raiders, you know what I'm saying? So, and we got to see, man, because it's going to be challenging. But I think Bajan's going to do well. But I'm just seeing how our offense going to do against, that defense, that Chargers defense. And we're going to see, man. They got to change up the game plan. They got to mix it up because I think they're going to be kind of prepared for those takedowns and everything. They're going to be playing a lot of post coverage for those takedowns and everything. I know they probably double up on DJ Moore and on Mooney. So, and they'll be putting pressure on Bagent. So we're going to see, man. So, like I said, if I was, the Bears, Luke Getsy, I'd air it out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because they probably think that Bagent doesn't have the arm strength to go deep, you know? I mean, have we really we've seen that one time with DJ Moore, you know what I'm saying? The ball it just lost flight, you know what I'm saying? Lost air. So we got to see, man, maybe, Bagent do probably got like a little bit of an arm, probably just wasn't, meant to be at that time. But I think he can get an arm, man. I think he's going to do well. So, hey, man, let me know what y'all think. All right, Chicago up, Bear down.
Will the Bears stick to the same game plan against the Chargers? I think it'll be a similar one. I do think that the Chargers can give up more as far as downfield when you look at like how what they've given up in the passing game. So we may be able to see, Luke Getsy and Tyson Bagent take more opportunities down the field. We already talked about, the lack of throwing further than 10 yards down the field, right? So, that type of thing stepping into it can definitely help also. So let's hope that that's what we see from the Chicago Bears is that, they just vary it. I do think we're still going to be a run-heavy offense for sure, and I think that is going to bode well for us. That is one of our strengths. That was our strength last season. I'm not even mad if that's what we go to. Allow that to be the case for this Chicago Bears team. Find what you do where you can find success at, and then double down on that. When you are a team that has 2 wins on the season, listen, you got to take your wins where you can get them. And if you can find success in running a similar type game plan, that's what you do. But yes, it's going to be a lot of short, quick passes. We'll see if they go down the field a little bit more, but I do think it's going to be a lot of that same thing. And I think that's just what you can expect, right? It is what it is. That's just what you can expect from this team. It kind of is what it is at this point in time. It just is what it is. That's what how this team is going to run this offense. That's probably the right thing for Tyson Bagent, and Tyson Bagent thrived in that, right? I don't want to take away from it. He's absolutely thrived in that. So let's see it continue. Let's hope that the Bears have success. I'm never going to root for my team not to win just because of a brewing QB controversy that really isn't one. But, it is what it is. Let's see. Let's see what the Bears go out there and do, and hopefully we're able to talk about another great game for the Chicago Bears and hopefully a victory as well. But let's get into this next voicemail. This one's from Barry.
Hey, Bobby C-Dub, fellas. Hey, it's Barry here. Fellas, I want to talk about something. Of course, everybody's going to talk about the fucking quarterback controversy and all that. But I want to talk about something that I think there's an unsung hero on this roster, fellas. Somebody nobody talks about, but he's been there since 2015, the longest tenured Bear. Of course, I am talking about the long snapper, Patrick Scales. Patrick has seen some fucking shit, fellas. He's been a part of some great seasons. Well, really, one great season, and there's some fucking terrible seasons. But the guy has been a fucking Iron Man. He never comes off the field. In fact, if you go back, there has been one, and I counted one guy, not named Patrick, that has long snapped for the Chicago Bears since 1998. There's 1 year, 2014. We went from Patrick Manley to Patrick Scales. And I just want to shout out Patrick Scales. The guy's a fucking workhorse. And the long snappers never get any love. But he's 35 years old now. So I'm going to start scouting at the high school level the next great long snapper named Patrick. So I just wanted to just give some love to Patrick Scales. And, of course, the other thing, fellas, I decided to throw in the towel on Jaquan Brisker a couple weeks ago. And ever since then, he's been playing better. So I'm going to keep talking shit about Brisker because that seems to be working for us. So I'm going to keep doing that. Talking about his, inability to back up his shit talk and how he has a mystery nutsack injury every fucking game. And, once I started calling him out, he started playing a little better. He was flying around last weekend. So, Jaquan Brisker, I hope your bitch ass is healthy. And he's on the injury report for illness this week. I think he's got the runs or something. Jaquan, you got to lay off the fucking Taco Bell. It's not good for you. And, hopefully you can come out there and play a decent game. But I'm not fucking counting on it because you're a sack of shit. And again, fellas, this is only because it seems to be working. So, I got some other thoughts on some shit, fellas, as you well know. But we will get back to the pregame breakdown this weekend. So, yeah, we got the Chargers coming up. And we got Iron Tyson Bagent going out there for start number 2. So we will talk then, fellas. So until next time, Chicago up. Bad man.
Patrick Scales, shout out to him, man. Being here for as long as that he's been here, you can't take away from that the fact that he's always here. Long snappers, you said it. They don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot because, hey, listen, when they do their job good, you just do your job good, right? The only time that he missed, I believe, was 2017. Wasn't he on the injury reserve list there? I don't know if you pointed that out. So, but other than that, he's been here, right? And he's been consistent. He gives what he gives, and he's a long snapper in the NFL. I don't know what to take from that. He just is who he is, right? But as far as the Jaquan Brisker piece of that, I love what you pointed out about Jaquan Brisker. I think that he is improving, and that is why you don't. I'm always someone that's against just trying to write the story right away, write off players right away at the start of the season or whatever. Because listen, it is what it is there. So when it comes down to it, Jaquan Brisker is improving. The secondary overall is improving. The cornerbacks are improving and getting better week after week. And Jaquan Brisker is back to looking like that player that made an impact, that player that we walked away. Keep in mind, the pick that we traded for Khalil, that we got for trading Khalil Mack, is Jaquan Brisker. So you want to be invested in him. And I think Jaquan has a hell of a career in front of him. I think he can be a big playmaker. He could be a tone setter. I know he did a little bit too much celebrating earlier and kind of cocky talking when it didn't back up. But, hey, he's rounding out back. And I really do like the way that Jaquan Brisker's been playing lately. And let's hope that it continues for the Chicago Bears. But all right, let's get into the last voicemail for the day. This one's from Booker.
Yo, Hayes, what's up, man? This book, man, blessings to you and yours. Yo, man, I got the COVID, man, but I still got to reach out to you to represent, man. Like I said, much love to you and the crew. Want to talk about, man, this supposed QB controversy, man. This is why sometimes, man, I ain't gonna lie, Bears fans make me sick. Why can't we just have two good things, man? Why it's got to be one or the other, man? It trips me out how everybody's trying to pit the two quarterbacks against each other. And some of the things that's being said about both sides, man, is just ridiculous, man. We the only fan base, man, where it's either caviar or sardines, man. Ain't nothing in between. It make me sick. But, excuse me, man. It makes no sense to me, man, and it's stupid, man. We got two decent quarterbacks, man. Let's ride that out, man, and see where we go. If we get to the draft, man, you know what I'm saying, trade down, get some more picks, shore up the team a little bit more, man, surround these guys with more help, I should say, and we can start to establish a nucleus, man, and we can start go ahead and competing for some championships. But that's all I got to say, man. I'm a little, like I said, under the weather, man. But again, blessings to you and yours. Shout out to Barry. Shout out to Cachet. Shout out to all of the regulars. Chicago up, bear down. Let's get this win on Sunday. I'll let y'all soon.
First of all, shout out to you, Booker, and prayers to you and healing from COVID. Yeah, like that's no joke. So, prayers to you and your recovery there. As far as the QB controversy, there isn't a QB controversy. As I always say this, as sports fans, sports are our soap operas. Men will make a storyline out of something that's pretty straightforward in sports every single year. That's just what they do. A lot of, not everyone. Some people do like to just talk about sports for what it is, the realistic standpoint. But for some people, the storylines, the drama, the who got cut, who's losing their starting position, that's what they look at for in sports, and that's all they can talk about. And so that it is a dramatization of really what's going on. And while, like I said, I don't think that a QB controversy isn't possible, but right now we're not in one. We haven't seen one. The way that Tyson Bagent played, shout out to him. He was a hell of a game manager. But people trying to act like it was the next coming or all this, it was drastically, it wasn't. And that's just realistic. But again, that's not to shit on him either. You can talk about somebody playing good. Tyson Bagent played good, and he excelled at what he was asked to do. You can talk about that without also having to down Justin Fields. And vice versa. You can talk about the things that Justin Fields needs to improve on without saying, hey, he's shitty. Let's start Tyson Bagent. Like, it's just I talk about this all the time over on my other podcast, The Awakened Soul. Like, people, now that we live in a social media age, right? When you say these hardline stances, it gets more interaction than what of just being real and just say, hey, Tyson Bagent played a hell of a game. Like, by saying Tyson Bagent, he played a hell of a game. Is there a cue? He should start over Justin Fields. That gets more attention for people. And in this a lot in talking about sports, whether it's Facebook groups, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, any place, right? Instagram, shorts, reels, whatever it is, it's all about getting attention for a lot of people. And so that is what it is. There's no QB controversy yet. There could be one, but there's no one yet. The moment that Justin Fields is fully healthy, he's back the starting quarterback. That just is what it is. Now, if he's gone for an extended period of time, let's say the Bears win 4 games in a row with Tyson Bagent and he looks better game after game after game, then, yeah, you can say there's a QB controversy. But for right now, no, there ain't a QB controversy. But there's definitely could be one brewing, and we'll see how that storyline goes, and we'll be covering it right here at Chicago Bears Central. But that's my time for today, guys. Make sure you guys are following the show at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related, thanks to you guys. And like we like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.